And any person deny al-Isra, that's the Prophet ﷺ, that as Allah mentioned in the Quran, then that person is denying the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's actually made him out of Islam, as neglecting a clear verse in the Quran. However, if somebody denied the Mi'raj, it's not, the scholar that said he's not out of Islam, but that's a sign of fusuq. We have to understand that. This is a clear, message, where some people, they might argue with that. The Isra and al-Mi'raj, as we spoke last time, happened with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ruhan wa jasada. That's as clear that he told them that I traveled, that's my body. So it's a physical travel. It's not just a dream or something that somebody would say, oh, by his spirit. No, it's a physically, it's when. And now thinking of that, if he told them that I went, and I felt that I'm going, or I left it, I travel, or I dreamt with not physically, anybody can accept it. But the fact that he told them, I physically had that, a trip. And subhanallah, looking at that miracle, which is amazing. You cannot even compare with the miracle that happened to Musa alayhi salam when he spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. But the Prophet ﷺ was invited to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Musa alayhi salam, for example, when they asked for suqya, for water, he was commanded to hit with his stone, with his stick, the stone, and spring there 12 springs. However, when the Sahaba were striving, the Prophet ﷺ placed his beautiful hand, yadahu sharifa, in a plate that has a little water, and the water spring between his fingers. And 1,400 people with their animals were full, after being, striving, couldn't find enough water for them, and they filled even their containers from that water that spring between the fingers of the Prophet ﷺ. إن كان موسى سقى الأسباط من حجر فإن في الكف معنى ليس في الحجر. Why I meant from that? The Prophet ﷺ has many miracles that even a high example compared with all other prophets. That's something unbelievable. From each miracle that happened for other prophets, the Prophet ﷺ has something of that. However, we didn't focus about that. Very rare to find somebody who will talk about this. Even the Quran mentions some of those miracles, like Isra, like splitting the moon, تربت الساعة وانشق القمر. So some of the really great miracles mentioned even in Quran and authentic hadith. But we didn't focus much about all of that. Why? Because more important for us, and the greatest miracle, greater than all of that, is the Quran. Is the living miracle. That some miracles that Sahaba have seen, and the Prophet have told them, and even Quran stated. But what's important for us, especially us, those came after the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the greatest miracle is the Quran. You're looking for a miracle? Go to the Quran, study the Quran, and look at that. You'll find something amazing. Quran has the ability for major transformation for human behavior and human life. And you see how many people, they just read the Quran or even part of the Quran, and that was a means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened their hearts to accept the message. And subhanallah, that's our focus as a ummah. If we need to gather the miracles that happened in the Prophet ﷺ, unbelievable. When he invited the tree and the tree walked to him. When that Bedouin man dropped the lazar, the dab, and he said, I'm not going to believe in you until this will witness that you are a messenger of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ spoke to him and the Sahaba heard that. When the pebbles or small stones that made the tasbih, and the Sahaba heard the tasbih in the hand of Rasulullah. When the trunk of the tree that Rasulullah moved from it, the Sahaba heard that like as if crying as a baby, until the Rasulullah went down from his minbar and he put his hand as if he's hugging him and said, calm down, calm down. Countless miracles. When the Qatada came to the Rasulullah and he's holding his hand, his eyes in his hand. And the Rasulullah said, how about you be patient? He said, yes, I'm patient, but I feel bad going back to my family with one eye because there's damage. So the Rasulullah put it back and he rubbed it, and it became better than before. Even when he get illness in the other eyes, this one will never, until he died. When the Sahaba told him, we have a little water in that well, and the Rasulullah went there and spit from his beautiful mouth a little in that water, and became the most sweet and nice water in the city. Amazing things, more and more. The barakah happened in the hand of Rasulullah when just a little food or chicken, that was the food enough for all entire army. And when the time that the Sahaba, they couldn't even break the stone, the Rasulullah, he came and he did, and he made a dua, and every time he will give them a glad tiding and telling them about many other things. Something happened to them, something will happen in the future, and many of those that happened as the Prophet told. But we are not actually concerned about that or mentioned. We know that all of that happened, and we believe in all of that. But again, why even many of us never even pay attention, never even mention, or even heard about these things? Why? Because we need to have our focus on the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the Quran. That's wallahi, it's a great lesson actually for all of us. The Isra and Mi'raj, scholars even debate about it. Some of them, they say this happened in Rajab. Some they said in Rabi' al-Awwal. Some they said in a year and a half before Hijrah. Some they said 2 years and a half. Why all of that difference? Because it was not even that important for them as the Quran. Quran grabbed their focus and their time and their concern. Yes, they will tell you when this verse is revealed, when the other words were revealed, and what's the story behind, what the context. The knowledge that they pass to us about the Quran, unbelievable. That shows to you how they care about that book. So let's actually have our focus on that. Yes, we believe in all of those miracles as it's happened, as Allah told us, and we learn many lessons from that. And let's focus on this. Last point, the Prophet ﷺ went to the seventh heaven. Went and he saw Jannah. And he told us many things in there. And he came back, living among his companions normally as a simple man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you see that level and you see that word and see that Jannah and you see all of that and you come back to dunya to carry the suffer. We didn't need to see the Jannah in order to hold firm in our deen. It's enough for us to believe in the word of Allah and the word of Rasulullah and believe what Rasulullah saw. And we learn from that. So the Rasulullah giving us example. Yes. Regardless what you have seen and all of that, you have a duty in this earth and you have to fulfill your mission. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the love of our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our hearts. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase on that love. And one day, inshallah, grant for us that we enjoy his company and looking at his beautiful face. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who be granted looking at the face of the Almighty Allah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.